Hi, welcome back. Imagine holding a tiny piece of metal that could be worth not hundreds, not thousands, but over $1 million today. From gold struck in the heart of the 1800s to coins, born out of desperation in Australia's earliest days. These are not just coins, they are treasures of history, symbols of survival and legends of value. Stay tuned, because we're counting down the top 10 most valuable Australian coins, and the number one spot will leave you speechless. Let's moving on. Number 10. 2000 Mule $1 coin. The year 2000 brought with it one of the most fascinating and extraordinary minting errors in Australian coin history. The 2000 Mule $1 coin. For collectors, this coin is more than just a piece of currency. It is a story of rarity, human error, and immense collector demand. What makes this coin so special is that it was struck with a mismatched obverse die. Instead of using the standard $1 obverse die, the Royal Australian Mint mistakenly paired a 10-cent obverse with the $1 reverse. This meant that the obverse design featuring Queen Elizabeth II had a distinctively thicker rim or double ring effect, which is clearly visible when compared to a regular $1 coin. The error remained unnoticed for some time, and several thousand of these coins entered circulation, particularly around the Canberra area, sparking a frenzy among collectors once the mistake was discovered. The intrigue surrounding this mule coin lies not only in the accidental minting, but also in the historical significance it carries. Mistakes of this magnitude rarely escape the Royal Australian Mint, making this coin one of the most desirable modern Australian rarities. Its rarity skyrocketed demand almost instantly once collectors became aware of its existence. Many stories circulated of people checking their wallets and purses, rushing to banks, and even going through bulk bags of coins in hopes of finding this elusive treasure. The 2000 Mule $1 coin stands as a modern-day legend in Australian numismatics, bridging the gap between casual coin collectors and serious investors. What makes this coin even more exciting is its performance in the marketplace. While circulated examples still attract strong interest, the value of uncirculated or high-grade specimens has reached incredible heights. Collectors have paid thousands to secure this rarity, making it one of the most famous and talked about modern errors in Australian coinage. To this day, people still dream of finding one in their change, but the odds are slim, as most are now in private collections or auction houses. The single-time high-grade market value for this coin has been recorded at around 55,000 AUD, proving its status as a true modern Australian icon. Number 9. 1966 Wavy 20-cent coin. Australia introduced decimal currency in 1966, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system with a modern structure of dollars and cents. Among the first batch of coins struck that year was the 20-cent piece, featuring a platypus swimming gracefully on the reverse and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. But within this new issue, something remarkable happened. A subtle minting variety appeared that would become one of the most recognized and sought-after coins in Australian numismatic history, the 1966 Wavy 20-cent coin. What sets this coin apart is the detail found in the baseline of the numeral 2, in the denomination 20. On most 1966 20-cent coins, the base of the 2 is straight. However, on a small number of coins, the baseline curves upward in a smooth wave-like shape. This seemingly minor variation might appear insignificant to the untrained eye, but for collectors, it is the hallmark of one of Australia's most famous decimal varieties. It is believed that this occurred due to the use of a specially modified die during the minting process, resulting in a distinctive wave effect that separated these coins from the standard issue. The rarity of the Wavy 20-cent coin is not just in its variety but in its survival rate. Being a circulating coin, most examples endure decades of use, scratches, and wear, which makes finding a high-grade example incredibly challenging. When collectors realized its significance, the demand surged, and it quickly established itself as one of the top must-have coins for anyone assembling a complete Australian decimal collection. Its fame spread beyond the shores of Australia, making it a coin admired even by international collectors. Auction records and private sales have shown just how valuable this coin has become over the decades. While circulated pieces already command strong premiums, high-grade specimens are where the real treasure lies. Numismatists and investors alike eagerly chase these coins, and they have consistently proven to be a strong performer in the market. In pristine condition, the 1966 Wavy 20-cent coin has fetched as much as 45,000 AUD, making it one of the most valuable and cherished decimal coins ever struck in Australia. Number 8. 1855 Sydney Mint Sovereign. The year 1855 marks a defining moment not only in Australia's numismatic history but also in the nation's broader journey toward economic independence. That year, the Sydney Mint, the very first official branch of the Royal Mint established outside England, struck its inaugural gold sovereign. Known today as the 1855 Sydney Mint sovereign, this coin is far more than a piece of currency. It is a tangible symbol of Australia's gold rush era, an era that shaped the nation's identity and economy. Struck from locally mined gold, the coin represented a bold declaration that Australia was capable of producing its own sovereigns, rather than relying solely on imports from London. The design was unique and distinct from its British counterparts. Instead of the iconic St. George and the Dragon design, the Sydney Mint sovereign proudly bore an Australian identity. The reverse featured a simple yet elegant inscription within a wreath, reading Sydney Mint and Australia, the first time the word Australia appeared on an official coin. The obverse displayed a youthful portrait of Queen Victoria, styled in what collectors often refer to as the young head. This dual symbolism, the Queen's authority and Australia's individuality, makes the coin deeply historic. The rarity of the 1855 sovereign stems from both its age and its limited survival rate. Many of these coins were heavily circulated during the gold rush years, suffering from wear, damage, or being melted down for bullion. As a result, finding a specimen in even moderately fine condition is difficult, and high-grade examples are exceedingly rare. Its allure lies not only in its scarcity, but also in the fact that it was the very first sovereign struck on Australian soil, linking collectors directly to the feverish days of the goldfields. Over the years, the 1855 Sydney Mint sovereign has consistently achieved record-breaking prices in the numismatic market. Its importance means that every advanced collector of Australian gold coins aspires to own one, making demand high even when supply is extremely limited. Depending on condition, values can range dramatically, but pristine examples stand as trophies in world-class collections. The one-time high-grade market value of this sovereign has been recorded at an astonishing $195,000 AUD, placing it among the most desirable coins ever produced in Australia. Number 7. 37 Crown Proof. The year 1937 brought about a special coin that would both intrigue and puzzle collectors for generations. The 1937 crown. Struck to commemorate the coronation of King George VI, the coin carried an impressive denomination of 5 shillings, making it the largest silver coin issued for circulation in Australia at the time. Weighing a substantial 28.27 grams and composed of sterling silver, it had a presence that immediately set it apart from other circulating coins. Its bold size and dazzling silver finish gave it a sense of grandeur, perfectly fitting for a coin released during a royal celebration. The design is what truly captivated collectors. On the reverse, the coin displayed a stylized crown, elaborately decorated and resting majestically above the denomination and date. The obverse bore the effigy of King George VI by Thomas Humphrey Paget, a refined and stately portrait that marked the beginning of a new royal reign. This design was highly symbolic, reflecting both Australia's loyalty to the monarchy and its ability to produce coinage that matched Britain in artistry and execution. While millions of 1937 crowns were struck for circulation, the novelty of such a large coin meant that the public did not warmly embrace it. Many found it inconvenient for everyday use, too heavy for pockets and too cumbersome for transactions. As a result, the coin was not popular in circulation and was discontinued after just 2 years, making 1937 and 1938 the only 2 years it was minted. However, within that same year of introduction, a very limited number of 1937 proof crowns were struck at the Melbourne Mint. These proof issues, prepared with specially polished dies and struck multiple times to achieve a mirror-like finish, were never intended for general circulation, but rather for collectors, dignitaries, and archival purposes. It is these proof strikes that have elevated the 1937 crown into the numismatic stratosphere. While regular circulation pieces are collectible in their own right, the proofs are exceedingly rare and highly coveted. Their rarity, combined with their connection to a significant royal event, makes them one of the ultimate prizes in Australian coin collecting. Auction records have confirmed their elite status, with pristine proof examples achieving staggering results. The one-time high-grade market value of the 1937 proof crown has reached up to $280,000 AUD, securing its place as one of the crown jewels of Australian numismatics. Number 6, 1923 halfpenny. Among Australia's copper coinage, few pieces inspire as much fascination and reverence as the 1923 halfpenny. This small, humble coin, struck at a time of economic transition and uncertainty, has grown to become one of the legendary rarities of Australian pre-decimal currency. While the halfpenny was an everyday coin for ordinary Australians, the 1923 issue is anything but ordinary, and its story demonstrates how chance, scarcity, and history can combine to create a true numismatic treasure. The rarity of the 1923 halfpenny stems from its unusually small mintage. Exact production records remain somewhat uncertain, but it is believed that only a few thousand coins were struck, perhaps as few as 15,000, an incredibly low figure compared to the millions typically produced in other years. This limited mintage likely resulted from the mint using leftover dies and only striking enough coins to meet minimal demand that year. As a result, the 1923 halfpenny quietly entered circulation without fanfare, unnoticed by the public, and quickly blended into everyday commerce. It was only decades later that collectors began to realize just how scarce the coin truly was. By then, most examples had been heavily worn through circulation, making well-preserved specimens even harder to find. Today, the 1923 halfpenny is considered the undisputed king of Australian copper coins, a cornerstone for any serious collector of pre-decimal currency. Its significance lies not just in its rarity, but in its representation of a period when Australia was still shaping its identity as a nation through its coinage. Auction houses and private sales have seen remarkable results whenever high-quality examples surface. Even coins in low-circulated condition can command strong premiums, while top-grade specimens are revered as showpieces in world-class collections. The excitement around this coin is such that it continues to capture the imagination of both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. The one-time high-grade market value for the 1923 halfpenny has been recorded at around 375,000 AUD, cementing its reputation as one of the most famous and sought-after copper coins in Australia's history. Number 5. 1852 Adelaide Pound. If one coin can be described as the crown jewel of Australia's gold rush era, it is unquestionably the 1852 Adelaide Pound. This remarkable coin holds the honor of being the very first gold coin officially struck in Australia, produced at the makeshift Adelaide Assay Office during South Australia's booming gold rush. It is not merely a coin, but a historic artifact, embodying the resourcefulness, determination, and independence of a colony eager to harness its newfound wealth. The backstory of the Adelaide Pound is as fascinating as the coin itself. In the early 1850s, gold discoveries in Victoria and South Australia triggered immense excitement. But they also created a pressing problem: how to turn raw gold into a practical medium of exchange. Transporting bullion to the Royal Mint in London was slow and risky, while the local economy desperately needed a standardized currency to facilitate trade. In response, the South Australian government established the Adelaide Assay Office, which began producing gold coins in 1852, and these were not officially sanctioned by the Royal Mint in England, making them technically unofficial, yet they were accepted widely due to necessity and their guaranteed gold content. The design of the Adelaide Pound is striking in its simplicity. The obverse displays a bold inscription of government, Assay Office Adelaide, encircling the value £1, while the reverse features a radiating design with the words, pure gold from the mine, and the year 1852. Unlike later sovereigns, it did not feature the monarch's portrait, a decision that made it distinct and unmistakably Australian. This raw and unpolished character reflects its urgent production during a turbulent but prosperous time in colonial history. Its rarity today is due to several factors. Many Adelaide pounds were heavily used in commerce, and large numbers were melted down as bullion when they traveled overseas. Surviving examples, especially those in higher grades, are therefore exceedingly scarce. Collectors worldwide recognize the Adelaide Pound as an iconic coin, not only for its rarity but for the pivotal role it played in Australia's economic history. It represents independence, innovation, and the spirit of a young colony carving its place on the global stage. In the numismatic market, the Adelaide Pound consistently commands extraordinary prices, with collectors willing to pay a premium for any opportunity to secure one. High-grade examples are almost never seen outside of elite collections, and when they do appear, they ignite fierce competition. The one-time high-grade market value of the 1852 Adelaide Pound has been recorded at an incredible $385,000 AUD, making it one of the most legendary and coveted coins in all of Australian numismatics. Number 4. 1920 Sydney Sovereign. The 1920 Sydney Sovereign is one of the most captivating and legendary gold coins in the entire history of Australian numismatics. Struck at the Sydney Mint, this coin has gained near mythical status due to its extreme rarity and the mystery surrounding its production. Sovereigns were a major part of Australia's monetary system in the 19th and early 20th centuries, with millions being struck across the country's various branch mints, including Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. However, the 1920 Sydney Sovereign stands apart as an extraordinary anomaly, with only a handful of examples known to exist today. The intrigue surrounding the 1920 Sydney Sovereign begins with the fact that no official mint records show a significant production of sovereigns at the Sydney Mint that year. It is believed that the small numbers struck were not intended for general circulation but may have been created for presentation purposes, dignitaries, or as trial pieces marking the end of the sovereign era in Sydney. Because of this, collectors and historians have long debated the circumstances of their creation, adding to the air of mystery that surrounds this remarkable coin. Design-wise, the 1920 Sydney Sovereign features Benedetto Pastrucci's iconic image of St. George slaying the dragon on the reverse. One of the most enduring and celebrated designs in numismatic art, the obverse shows King George V, with the portrait engraved by Sir Edgar Bertram McKennell. What makes the 1920 Sydney issue so special is not just its rarity, but also the tiny S mint mark, which identifies it as having been struck at the Sydney Mint. That small letter is what transforms an otherwise ordinary sovereign of the period into one of the most desirable Australian coins ever minted. The rarity of the 1920 Sydney Sovereign cannot be overstated. Only a handful of confirmed examples are known to exist. Fewer than 10 are believed to be in private and institutional collections worldwide. This makes it a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition, even for the most advanced collectors. Its presence in an auction is a landmark event, often drawing international attention from museums, investors, and numismatists. Unsurprisingly, the coin's value reflects its near-legendary status. Even lower-quality examples would be worth a fortune, but high-grade specimens are among the most expensive Australian coins ever sold. The one-time high-grade market value of the 1920 Sydney Sovereign has been recorded at an astonishing $1 million AUD, placing it in the absolute upper echelon of world coin rarities and making it one of the most valuable pieces in the entire Commonwealth numismatic tradition. Number 3, 1930 penny. If there is one coin that has captured the imagination of Australians more than any other, it is undoubtedly the 1930 penny. This unassuming copper coin, with a face value of just 1 penny, has become the most famous rarity in Australian pre-decimal coinage, a true national icon that even people outside the numismatic world have heard about. Its legend has made it the holy grail of Australian coin collecting. The story of the 1930 penny is as remarkable as the coin itself. During the depths of the Great Depression, demand for new coinage was extremely low. As a result, no official records exist for the striking of pennies in 1930. However, a very small number were produced, likely as test strikes or as part of routine die preparation at the Melbourne Mint. These coins quietly slipped into circulation, unnoticed at first, only to be discovered years later when collectors realized how few examples actually existed. Estimates suggest that no more than 500 to 2,000 pieces were struck, and today only about 1/200 to 1/500 are thought to survive. The design of the 1930 penny follows the standard penny style of the era. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of King George V by Sir Edgar Bertram McKennell, while the reverse displays the word Commonwealth of Australia, encircling the denomination, 1 penny, and the date. It is this date, 1930, that transforms the coin from ordinary to extraordinary. The simplicity of the design belies its immense rarity and cultural significance. Part of the 1930 penny's enduring mystique is the way it connects with everyday Australians. Stories abound of lucky individuals finding one in their loose change or tucked away in an old jar of coins. For many families, the 1930 penny has become a cherished heirloom, passed down through generations, symbolizing both hardship and resilience during the Depression years. In the numismatic market, the 1930 penny has consistently commanded breathtaking prices. Even well-worn circulated examples sell for tens of thousands of dollars, while coins in top condition achieve record-breaking sums at auction. Its fame and desirability ensure that demand always far exceeds supply. Collectors worldwide view it as one of the greatest copper rarities of the 20th century. The one-time high-grade market value of the 1930 penny has reached as high as $1.5 million AUD, firmly establishing its place as Australia's most celebrated coin and a true national treasure. Number 2. 1813 Dump. The 1813 Dump is one of the earliest and most historically significant coins ever issued for Australia, standing as a cornerstone of the nation's numismatic heritage. Its story is inseparably linked to the famous Holey Dollar, and together they represent the very first coins struck specifically for use in New South Wales. The dump, small in size but monumental in importance, symbolizes Australia's desperate need for coinage. In the early 19th century and the ingenuity of Governor Lachlan Macquarie in solving a currency crisis that threatened the stability of the young colony. The origins of the dump trace back to 1813, when the colony of New South Wales was plagued by a severe shortage of circulating coinage. The economy was hampered by barter and by the circulation of foreign coins of mixed and uncertain value. To address the problem, Governor Macquarie imported 40,000 Spanish silver dollars, widely recognized and respected across the world, and devised a bold plan to adapt them for local use. Each Spanish dollar was cut, creating two coins. The outer ring became the Holey Dollar, and the inner plug became the dump. This ingenious approach not only doubled the number of coins in circulation, but also prevented the dollars from being easily exported, since they were no longer recognized in their original form. The dump, worth 15 pence, was small, thick, and crudely struck, but it carried immense significance. On one side, it bore the words New South Wales, and the date 1813 around the center denomination of 15 pence. On the other side, it displayed a crown and the initials GR3, standing for King George III. Despite their rough appearance, these coins represented Australia's very first locally produced currency, and a turning point in the colony's economic development. Rarity is at the heart of the dump's mystique. Although tens of thousands were created, most were lost, damaged, or melted down over the years. Today, surviving examples are few and far between, and those in high-grade condition are especially scarce. Collectors treasure the dump, not just for its rarity, but for its deep historical importance, as it embodies the struggles and ingenuity of Australia's earliest settlers. In the modern market, the dump commands extraordinary prices whenever it appears at auction. Even heavily worn examples are considered prized possessions, while well-preserved coins achieve record-breaking results. The one-time high-grade market value for the 1813 dump has been recorded at around $1.7 million AUD, securing its reputation as one of the most iconic and desirable coins in Australian numismatics. Number 1. 1813 Holey Dollar. At the very pinnacle of Australian coin collecting stands the 1813 Holey Dollar, the nation's first and most celebrated coin. Alongside the dump, it was born from Governor Lachlan Macquarie's innovative response to the currency crisis in New South Wales, but it is the Holey Dollar that has captured the imagination of collectors worldwide and become the ultimate symbol of Australia's numismatic identity. The Holey Dollar was created from imported Spanish silver dollars, which were cut in the center to remove a plug, which became the dump. The remaining outer ring, pierced with a circular hole, was overstruck with new designs and inscriptions, transforming it into a uniquely Australian coin. Valued at 5 shillings, the Holey Dollar was instantly recognizable, distinctly local, and resistant to being exported or melted down as bullion, the very problem that had plagued the colony's finances. The design of the Holey Dollar reflects both its origins and its new identity. The host coin retained much of the Spanish dollar's original imagery, often showing portraits of Spanish monarchs such as Charles IV or Ferdinand VII, as well as intricate details of the original coinage. Surrounding this, the overstruck inscriptions declared New South Wales 1813 and the denomination of 5 shillings. Each Holey Dollar is therefore unique, since the host coins varied in type, design, and condition before being altered. This individuality makes every surviving example a one-of-a-kind artifact. The rarity of the Holey Dollar is legendary. Out of the 40,000 coins originally converted, only about 300 Holey Dollars are known to survive today, scattered across museums and private collections worldwide. Some are in extremely low grades, heavily worn from use, while a handful exist in remarkable preservation, displaying both the Spanish details and the New South Wales overstrikes clearly. Each piece tells its own story, a blend of global history and local necessity. The Holey Dollar is not just rare, it is iconic. It represents the very birth of Australian coinage, a moment when a struggling colony adapted and innovated to create its own financial system. For collectors, owning one is the ultimate prize, the crowning jewel of any collection of Australian or world coins. Its fame extends far beyond the numismatic community, as it is often referenced in books, museums, and even popular culture as the single most important coin in Australia's history. Unsurprisingly, the Holey Dollar commands astronomical prices whenever one surfaces for sale. Each auction appearance makes headlines, as these coins are fiercely contested by collectors, investors, and institutions alike. The one-time high-grade market value for the 1813 Holey Dollar has reached an astounding $2 million AUD, cementing its place as Australia's #1 most valuable and historically significant coin. And there you have it, from the humble copper coins to the legendary Holey Dollar. These are the crown jewels of Australian numismatics, each carrying history, rarity, and incredible value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Australia's most valuable coins, make sure to follow for more rare coin stories, hidden treasures, and expert insights. You never know. The next great discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now.